Jeez, got bed here. Nah, screw it. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chaos. So yeah, just a quick little video about what the next video you're gonna see right now. The next video you're gonna see right now is, of course, a new episode of Take It to the Table, which consists of course, me, the regular guest, Mr. Rhymes, and Rides, and also a special guest on there, Matthew. Basically, we're going to be talking about Survivor Series, a little quick roundup, a review of all the matches and what we thought of the show. The reason for this little video right now is that basically, whilst we were obviously filming the episode, or at least I thought it was, after we finished that segment, when I checked the recording, the video wasn't actually filming. It stopped for some reason, but we got the audio. So this one's gonna be a little special version. Oh, you're gonna see a special friend now. You're gonna see a special, just audio only version, just for Survivor Series. The Survivor Series part. Everything else for that we discussed or planned for the show, there was visuals for that. So so just for this part, I didn't want to skip on this just because we didn't have the visual part of it. But yeah, just for Survivor Series, you'll just see or just hear the audio of this. Just so it's just gonna be a little podcast type of show. All right. But for the rest of the episodes, you will see all of us in our full glory. But besides that, hope you enjoy the show. Please like, share, and subscribe. More importantly, and yeah, let's take it to the table, guys. Peace.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chaos, and welcome to a new episode of Take It to the Table. Yes. As of this recording, we are just removed from Survivor Series, and but first, let's introduce everyone here on this panel. To my right is none other than Big Man Rides. What's up, Mr. Rides?
What's going on? Glad to be back.
Yes.
The game for a little bit, but I'm here.
Yes.
I'm in the shot.
He pulled the sicky last time, but yeah, it's all good. He's back and made a huge making his glorious return. And as you can see, what he's doing right now, he's not being rude. He's actually watching Survivor Series right now.
Yeah. He's always the one that has to catch up.
Lastminute.com right here, yeah. But it's all good. But yeah, it's Neddy, and so
I'm not listening to what they're saying.
but it's all good. But to my left is none other than Mr. Rhymes. Welcome back to the show, Mr. Rhymes.
Good to be here. Always will be here.
Yes. And if you're wondering who is to my further left, oh no, it's not Mr. Randy Prizzle getting a whole makeover. No, it is not. It is. We have a special guest on the show. He is none other than Matthew. Welcome to the show, Matthew. On your first day, on your debut.
Hello, people. It's nice to be here for the first time.
Now, who is your current favorite superstar right now, and what is your most memorable moment of 2020?
Oh.
That's a good question. I would say my favorite superstar right now is AJ Styles.
AJ Styles, good. Yeah.
And my favorite moment of 2020, I'd probably say, is Keith Lee winning the NXT title.
Oh yeah, that was.
Oh, what the Great American Bash?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I agree with that. Yeah, that was some good moments. Yeah, that's cool. All right, cool. Well, yeah. Well, of course, welcome to the show, Matt. Always happy to have you here. And like I said, we're going to be talking about the Survivor Series. We're going to do a quick roundup on that, give our thoughts about it, and then of course we're going to be talking about. We're going to give our takes, the top 5 worst finishers that we think are the absolute worst in WWE or AEW or wherever you think, like whatever whatever comes to your mind. It doesn't have to really restrict to WWE. And also, we're gonna dive in also a little fun segment of basically the lowest rated episodes of Monday Night Raw. And then we're gonna divulge up actually what was actually happening on those episodes.
Is that of this year or just in general?
In general, like the lowest ever.
Lowest rated episodes.
Yeah, the lowest viewed, lowest rated. Just yeah. And you might surprise you with some of the pickings. It's actually pretty cool. But yeah, without further ado, let's take it to the table.
Yeah.
All right, now, like I said, Survivor Series has been and gone. So yeah, just off the top of your head, what are your first thoughts about the pay-per-view, Matthew?
I'm glad. Well, I'm glad that Roman won, that Roman beat Drew, because that was my only fear that going into Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Because
That's really what you just said.
That was
No,
your only
but-
fear.
No, that's cool. That's cool. You said it at the right time.
Okay, fair enough. Cool. Thank God.
You said it like a minute before. Just started, I'd be like,
Oh yeah, because he's
Roman
still
one.
catching up. Oh god,
Shit, I
yeah.
was just like, oh fuck. But yeah,
Nah,
go.
I'm just
Sorry.
seeing if there's any after match scenes.
Oh,
or
okay, yeah,
anything,
do your
but
thing. That's
yeah,
fine. That's
we
cool.
good, we
But
good,
yeah,
we
sorry.
good.
Proceed, Matt. No worries. He doesn't hate you, so you haven't got no enemies. It's all good. Yeah. So
Okay,
yeah.
I'm glad that Roman beat Drew because it's like going into Survivor Series. I was hoping that Drew wouldn't like beat Roman purely on the basis that I feel like Roman's on a momentum
100%.
that I feel like should go on until at least WrestleMania.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm happy with that result.
Did you know that apparently it was meant to be a short term run? It was meant to only have it for about a couple months. They didn't really disclose who he was going to beat him for it, but apparently this run was meant to pretty much be over in a month, possibly at Hell in a Cell. So that was but obviously the thing is money. Like this is everyone loves Roman. you know that's what I'm saying. This is the perfect thing. Like this is what everyone's been craving for. They actually pulled the trigger that they didn't do with Cena.
Yes.
And, it just works. And he has Paul Heyman as a mouthpiece, and he's just so gangster with it. So 100% Roman Reigns definitely was the right victor, and let's keep this momentum until possibly we might see The Rock at Mania, him against The Rock apparently. We'll see what happens with that. But what about you, Mr. Rhymes? What's yours?
Honestly speaking, I had it in my head that because we all, well, everyone knows that I ride for SmackDown, and SmackDown genuinely, I think we've been consistent with this opinion that it is better than Raw, and I think even the ratings are showing that right now, so SmackDown is doing better. So I assumed that going into Survivor Series, the whole point was that they were going to make Raw completely wash SmackDown to kind of make it seem like SmackDown is the lesser show, so we should be watching Raw.
You anticipated that.
Yes. And I didn't want that to happen, but I kind of figured that even when you look at the teams and how how badly balanced they were, the Raw teams against the SmackDown teams, so I was like, okay, so basically all the Raw stars are going to walk away victories. So Raw is just going to completely wash SmackDown. Surprised that they didn't, and I figured that SmackDown's only win was only going to be Roman Reigns. That would be the only win, only because I figured that it's dumb to kind of make McIntyre lose the title, win the title, and then beat Roman Reigns, who's on a
Crazy streak.
So it's just kind of like it wouldn't make sense for Roman Reigns to lose. Mind you, though, my opinion on him winning, I'll get into that later. But
Okay.
So I was pleasantly surprised that SmackDown wasn't washed, but technically SmackDown still did lose. So
yeah, of course. What about you, Big Man Ride? Since
It's all fresh in my memory.
all fresh in your memory now. Yeah.
but today,
Yeah. So, what was the question?
Like
The
what
whole
off the top of
pay-per-view?
yeah, so
What was
that
your-
just
So,
briefly.
I mean, I enjoyed it. It was refreshing. It was nice to actually see a pay-per-view without any spoilers for once.
That's good.
courtesy of me.
But yeah, it was cool. A lot of different paces for different matches, and there were matches that I went into wanting people to win, wanting not having people win, and it went the other way. So, for example, with the Roman Reigns, I'm in agreement with you guys. Like, I wanted Roman all the way. No disrespect to Drew. I think Drew is still fresh. I don't think he's gotten stale or anything like that. But I think Roman is just on another level. This Roman is a new Roman.
Right.
So yeah, we've had Roman for the past 8 years, but the Roman we've got now on SmackDown for the past few months is a new character, a new person.
Yes.
So a loss to that Roman compared to a loss to Drew would have been more diminishing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%, 100%.
This
Yeah.
loss to Drew, especially coming off a huge title and win just the week before, doesn't really hurt him. But can you imagine if Roman won?
Oh, Roman lost, you mean?
Yeah, sorry. Can you imagine if Roman lost?
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense. The Survivor Series matches, I kind of thought that back, I've said it before, a few years ago, the traditional 5-on-5 was like the main thing about Survivor Series. And now it's kind of like the side thing. It's like, and we got this thing going on in the background. They didn't really make it as big as it could have been. And the whole seriousness between we're Raw, we're SmackDown isn't really there as such. As much, I mean, you got Big E on SmackDown still riding with Raw people. Do you know what I mean? Little things like
Mind
that.
you, I think that was only a promo skit though.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm the last person who wants to see them split anyway. But my point
Right.
is, like, that separation isn't really there. It was kind of more focused on the in-house. So AJ trying to get his band together, Nia Jax trying to get the women to. Well, she wasn't really.
She was just trying to get Lana off the team.
But it was cool. I didn't like that SmackDown, the men lost the way they won, the way they lost. So,
Yeah.
like 5-on-1 and that's it. Like I just thought, you know, it was a good highlight for Jay, but you know,
Okay.
yeah, main event was really good though. It was a nice slow match in a good way.
Yeah.
It wasn't Triple H Randy Orton slow.
No.
It was just slow in a good way.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Nobody would want no Triple H Randy Orton redo.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, like just a quick overview of it. It was definitely it was solid. It was a decent pay-per-view. What I say is one of the best of the year, probably not. But it still had some memorable moments, I would say. But yeah, let's just go into it. So we start off I guess with the kickoff show, I guess.
Oh, do you know what? I actually watched the kickoff show this time. I was that
my
bored.
God.
I was that bored, yes. So I actually watched the kickoff show.
Fair enough.
Mind you, though, the weird thing is that I went into the kickoff show not realizing there was going to be a match because they didn't.
Yeah, of course,
they didn't hype a match or anything.
I didn't
so
know.
I'm just there, like, so I did that thing where I put the network on and I put it on the kickoff show, but I was doing other things. And then next thing you know, I heard them saying, "Oh, we're getting ready for this dual branded battle royal." And I'm like, "Oh, there's a match." So I was like, "Okay, well, fine. Let's let's get into it." And then the match happened.
It was a 18-man dual brand battle royale, and it consisted of basically all holy mid carders, so to speak.
You say mid carders, but you had Jeff Hardy in there. You had
mid card right now.
Yeah, but he's like upper mid card, isn't it? So
Still mid-card.
Jeff Hardy can still main event if he has to. So
He can, but right now he's mid card.
Listen, we're all fans of Jeff Hardy. Let's not lie to ourselves. He's deep in the mid card.
Oh my
deep
god!
in the mid-card.
Because you had you had Jeff Hardy in there. I think Shinsuke was in
Feuding
there.
with
You
Elias,
had
man.
That's what I'm saying.
posters off the wall, like,
I
come
consider
on.
them upper mid card, but okay, cool, fine, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Who else?
I say you had Shinsuke in there, but he's like
Mid card, barely.
Low.
big names, whatever. You had
Rey
Dominic-
Mysterio.
You had Rey Mysterio. You had Dominic in there. You had like was Murphy in there?
Yeah, he was.
Mid card. They're all mid card. Come on, you don't lie to yourself. But
I mean,
yeah.
I would Rey Mysterio be mid card.
Yes, right now he
Upper
is.
mid card because he could still main event if he had to
He's
be.
the most valuable one in turn. If you really wanted to measure it up, then Rey Mysterio is right there. Like it's a bit higher because.
But then Dominic would ride with
I wouldn't
that.
put Ray as mid card.
No.
Because you wouldn't say Seth is mid card.
No.
They're both.
Feuding.
But I'm saying right now, currently, like the feud that he's in right now is a mid card feud. So right now it's really like he hasn't main evented anything. It's always
It technically was the co-main event of SummerSlam. Dominic and Seth Rollins. Technically.
if you want to go technical, yeah, of course. Yeah. But since then,
Okay.
Either way, about a royal of people that don't matter.
yeah, exactly, yeah, no, of course.
But it was actually all right to watch. I'm not gonna lie.
I heard that Dominic did well.
He did.
Yeah.
I mean, he does this thing where he comes off a little bit slow because I guess because he's taller and more built than Rey Mysterio, so he doesn't fly around as much. But yet he's doing Rey Mysterio-esque moves. So it's kind of like if he's going to continue on that pattern, it would be nice if he maybe moved the way he should. Mm-hmm. But then I'm not taking away from him. Like he genuinely did put on a good show. Fair enough. I will say I am sick and tired of them doing the booking that they do with the surprise. The person wasn't eliminated.
Oh right, yeah,
So
But doesn't it get you every time?
No, because
so you knew that Miz was gonna come out at the
they
end.
said it on commentary. They were like, "Oh, Miz rolled back in," but then Dominic kicked him out. So they were like, "Oh, the ref waved that off. The Miz is still in this match." They
And you never forgot about it.
no, because it happened like literally. He was the third to last.
I didn't watch it.
So it was like Miz was eliminated or Miz was
yeah.
kicked to the floor, and then it was just Dominic and
Chad Gable.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was just them two, and then when Chad Gable went
yeah,
out,
they
Dominic
did
acting like he won, and then Miz came in. So it was like, well, Miz, we knew he wasn't eliminated, so
They do it a lot. I think they did it the other day as well with was it Lana?
yeah, they did it with Lana in the Battle Royal. She was
Yeah.
eliminating Natty. They did it at WrestleMania. Carmella did it with Naomi at WrestleMania.
They do a lot.
They always
they
do that
rinse that.
surprise.
I think when if
it's
they can
just-
do it in a way where you can, like for example,
Yeah.
Lana, I think Lana.
Well, Lana,
was
yeah, we
stretched
forgot
out.
about her
I
because
did
she
see that,
got put through the table, so you completely forgot about her.
Yeah, if they're gone for like half the match or whatever, cool. But like what you've just described.
Yeah, Miz was literally just there. It just happened, and
Yeah,
then
there's been a
Gable-
couple that were good. Like I think the best one for me was even though he didn't win it, but when Roman Reigns won it, the one that everyone
Rusev.
rioted.
Oh yes, but Rusev was still in.
Yeah, he's still in. Yeah, and people thought he was gonna win, but he
Was
still got
Santino?
eliminated.
Oh yeah, Santino.
Santino
yeah,
was a
that
good one.
the
Yeah, that's a good one. So it pulls off like if you're able to do it. So yeah, I get that. But yeah, the Miz won, of course.
Didn't think he needed it personally. I would have given it to Dominic, but I guess
Didn't
Mr. Money in the Bank. I guess it makes sense. You know,
I guess, but he's not gonna brag. I doubt he's gonna brag about it. Probably say something about it on. Where is he on now? Raw.
he didn't say anything about it on Raw. He wasn't even on
He
Raw.
wasn't even on Raw.
Right. So that was literally a wash. So, you know.
Whatever. Dead out. Anyway,
How long did they get? How long was that
12
match?
minutes on the dot, apparently.
Okay.
So, yes.
This wasn't on Raw.
No?
No, I didn't. I don't remember seeing him.
So,
Yes, I actually
So,
watched this
spoiler.
week's Raw. Like, that's surprising. Ugh. Okay, tell a lie. I didn't watch it all. I watched like up until the main.
that's
event.
what happens when you got lockdown, everybody. But yeah.
Right, I actually watched all the shows. Like, ugh.
Yeah, of course. But okay, so that was obviously the one and only match on the kickoff show. So we go to the first match of the main card, which was the 5-on-5 men's Survivor Series elimination match, which consisted of Team Raw, it had Team Raw consisting of AJ Styles, Keith Lee, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Riddle. And against Team SmackDown against Team SmackDown, which consisted of Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, King Corbin, Seth Rollins, and Otis.
Mind you, though, we will sit here and will constantly say that I am not a fan of Otis. I liked how he was in that match. I actually was rooting for him.
Basically, well, of course, Team Raw won. All right, let me just say that down. So
Right.
Team Raw won. Matthew, what did you think of that match anyway? Like,
Basically, I'm not even a fan of Otis myself, to be honest.
oh yeah, he's dead out. I hate it.
I feel like, well, it's ridiculous that he won Money in the Bank. That should have gone to AJ Styles.
Really, you was rooting for AJ in that match?
Oh, yeah, no one was rooting for Otis.
Yeah.
Well, no, but you were rooting for AJ. I think didn't we? Who was I rooting for in that match? Who was in that match again?
Otis,
Aleister Black.
Baron Corbin, Rey Mysterio, Aleister Black.
Okay, I think for me it was one of those three. I said we're gonna win it.
Okay.
Which I always say I don't.
I would have waited. I wanted Aleister Black to win, but yeah, that's fair enough. But yeah, of course Otis won, but they
AJ
realized they
Styles,
fucked.
though. Go on.
So
Sorry.
you're saying Otis was a joke as winning Money in the Bank?
Yeah,
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I feel like it should have gone to somebody else.
But
Yeah,
you wanted
but-
you wanted specifically AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Okay. But
Okay.
go on.
In the match itself, I'm going to answer it with like another question for you guys. What do you
Okay.
think about that moment with Seth?
That was weird as hell. I didn't expect that.
I mean, I understand it.
greater good.
You understand it?
I understand it because the idea is that he wrote himself off TV, isn't it? The greater good is that Becky's like due in it, so he has to be written off TV somehow.
But that
Unless
was
something happened on Raw that you're not telling me. I don't know.
No,
That's not on Raw.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no. But it was random. I mean, I in a way I think he was just pissed that he wasn't named the team captain, so he was just like. But it was really
It
weird.
was dumb, and my thing is that Seth Rollins was our ace in the hole kind of thing, because Seth Rollins doesn't go down easy. Seth Rollins will kind of be that one that if it was going to be 5-on-1, leave it in Seth Rollins, and we had that chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's that believable star, and then he's the first one out, and literally one bro kick, and he was out. It's like, oh.
It
I was so
really
like
weird.
deflated when that happened, and I was like,
I need to know what this greater good is about. It didn't make no fucking sense.
I mean,
what about you?
to answer your question, the return question, I thought it was dumb. I think you might be onto something. They might be trying to write him off because you're right, Becky is due soon. But if that's the case, I don't think it ends there at Survivor Series. Something's probably going to happen on SmackDown. Something. Because he's not going to get down on his knees, take a normal bro kick, and be out for a few months.
You might be surprised.
yeah, but then that's just it, because he just literally said it was for the greater good. That is so vague and so open. That could be anything.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I don't know
it's
what the
still
hell the greater good is right this moment in time. I don't know
Right.
what that is. I just keep hearing him say that, and every time he says it, I just say back to him like, "For the greater good."
So you never know. He could return back as what was he, Monday Night Rollins, or he could return back as Friday Night Rollins instead of being the Friday Night Messiah. He could return back as regular.
It's
You know what
got
I
to
mean?
make sense. It
So for
can't
the greater good could be the end of that character.
That's what people are speculating on Twitter and things like that.
Yeah,
I think he's going to come in the 2021 Royal Rumble and literally just come back with his old theme and everything.
Which I'd be here for that. Just anything to get away from this Messiah.
Because
thing,
he
it's done
has
now.
he has his baby, he has the baby, and then all of a sudden that changes him. Like as usually does what any father, like they change him to a man, that kind of thing. So they might cleanse him, and then he sees his errors, his error in his ways. He'll come back as a face.
So I hear that, but I think, in my opinion,
Yeah.
if Seth did that and went back to his old ways, that would be like, to me, it would be equivalent to Roman doing that right now. He's just changed his new character. It's obviously we're not going to see it in the same way because it's a different kind of character, but it's fresh, it's new, and despite what you might say about the Ray Murphy storyline and stuff, it was the other hot storyline in recent memory. Really,
It was
truly,
their
I'd say.
online views are crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've grown to like this Messiah thing. It's different, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, I like the character, but I'm just saying maybe it's just a way of them
Change.
getting rid of it. Because
It might be.
WWE kind of will have something hot and then decide, okay, let's just randomly change it.
Yeah, there's 100 examples of that, man.
Right, so,
Okay, fair enough. Well, yeah, of course. So Seth Rollins was the first one to come out. Then it was
King Corbin?
Then it was because it was a total washout, wasn't it? Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was King Corbin afterwards with that senton thing that Riddle does. Then it was Kevin Owens, even though he was stunning everyone, and all of a sudden he got phenomenal forearmed. I remember that.
Yeah, that was a bit of a random one.
So, like,
Yeah.
filler.
Yeah. This is fucking jarring. And then Otis being Otis, and I can't stand it now. Like the joke is done now. I'm so over it. Like he was about tolerable when when he had the briefcase and he got to win the girl and all that kind of stuff. And then that stuff with Miz happened, and then all of a sudden he's blue collar shit, and it's just cringe.
Are we not going to talk about the fact that Tucker turned on him and nothing happened?
Oh,
Right.
oh.
I think we actually discussed on the last show, right?
Yes.
We were just like, he turned on him and whatnot, and then he like lost on the Raw following. Tucker
Yeah,
we
we lost on Raw.
following,
And he's got
and it
some
was just
shit
like-
attire. Looks like Default 2 from SmackDown
And it
versus
just
Raw.
like, it went nowhere.
If you look storyline wise, there was literally
No?
nothing, no substance. I get it. They probably wanted to break him up, make Otis the star. I don't know what they're gonna do with Tucker by himself.
He's gonna get. I'm sorry.
But then-
I feel
but
bad
then-
for him, but he's gonna get released.
And again, it was like that thing of normally these are like great teams that
It
get
was
that
so
break.
over as a team. I
But
wasn't the biggest
then,
fan.
but then it will be a great team that gets that breakup storyline because you're kind of invested in that team. So had it have been that the New Day got that Shield breakup and whatnot, it would have kind of you'd be more invested because of that teams and the longevity of that team. Do you know what I mean? So there's such a background, there's such a dominance in that team. If it was going to break up like that, then you're invested. But Tucker and Otis literally have been on the main roster for about a year, and probably not even that, because they were heavy machinery in NXT, but even then they were barely used. They came onto the main roster. They had like a couple of runs and stuff here and there. Otis went through the chamber earlier on this year. That's what his only highlight of his career so far. And then he won Money in the Bank for some random reason. Yeah, they pushed him to be like the star of the team, but it's not long enough.
So let me actually. This popped into my head just a minute, just right now.
Right.
So you know how Vince always says that the crowds judge how you are or how you're perceived in like management, or like if the crowd pops for you, then they're gonna put you at the top. If you're just coming out the crickets, they don't really push. They ain't gonna push you as much. Is it because the lack of crowds? They don't know how people are reacting to heavy machinery, that they just completely freestyling it, and the only way to do it is just break them up and then shove Tucker away. So it's because of lack of crowds. You think that could be the reason why they're fucking them up?
It could
Possibly,
be,
but
but
for-
then go on.
I think for the last 5 or so years, they concentrate on other things other than just that, like social media and people talking online and stuff, and all that comes into play. I mean, you're right. They don't have an audience now, so if they're just solely going on that, it's gonna be a huge mix-up because and I don't know how much noise comes from the screens on the Thunderdome, but
Oh my god, it's all plugged noises.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
I don't. Yeah, it's
but
it's
if
a
that's
world.
the case, then that would be. I think that would be a valid reason. Maybe that's why, because Vince is already not really up. Do you know what I mean? So if
Understatement.
there's no noise.
Yeah.
People. Right?
Yeah. That's what it's because
It's just
like they
very
were pop. You're right. They were popular when crowds were around. Like I thought they were due for a title shot or become champs,
Right.
but they didn't. And then all of a sudden they completely undid them, and then just went. They're favoring Otis for some odd reason.
I mean, yeah, he was
him.
the
He's the most charismatic. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
But in order to, if that's the case, you should use Otis as as a leaning post for Tucker because Tucker hasn't got that charisma. He hasn't got that kind of stuff. Even that's why it even messed me up even more when he kept on saying like it was me that was carrying the team and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just like, dude, you did jack shit. No one even remembers you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I just think it's backwards on both their parts because the split is wrong.
Yeah.
But then why did you make us invested in Otis, especially when there's people like us who didn't like him to begin with?
Right.
And then you push him, okay, this is a guy you need to watch out for. We're going to put the briefcase on him. We're going to put him in main events on SmackDown or whatnot. And then you take the briefcase off him.
Yeah.
So not only has he lost his partner, he's lost what has the past few months been for?
He's lost everything. He lost everything.
I think he doesn't even have Mandy on by his side anymore.
No, because Mandy's on Raw and he's on SmackDown.
Yeah. And then even then saying that he's lost everything, that's not a storyline. He's not all of a sudden going to go crazy and turn heel. He's just normal Otis still doing the fake wham.
Right, the caterpillar.
What have we got out of this? You haven't got a new main eventer. You've just now got a single star.
That was the other thing, though. I did see on the back end of SmackDown before Survivor Series how I don't know who's this Adam Pearce guy, by the way. I haven't
He's a
really been.
WWE official.
That's all he is. Because why does he get to make the decisions on the matches and the team?
Oh, so it's like a general manager, but he's not a general manager. But yeah,
he's an unofficial official general manager.
Yes.
You know, like, they always used to say board of directors, but you never see him now.
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's him.
Okay, because
he controls both shows.
Because it just came randomly when it's like, oh, Natty kept talking to this Adam Pearce guy trying to get the team.
Before he was just a backstage guy, but I think because he was actually decent on camera, they were just they quietly made him a WWE official that controls all matches and whatnot.
You say decent? Didn't he call him McIntyre this week on Raw? Like that was his whole thing. He was like Drew McIntyre. Like he did that. Watch that back. You say he's good on camera. That was not like
I was gonna say I heard he used to be a wrestler, but
clearly
not good on the mic.
He's still fumbling on the mic. So, but
wow.
anyway, but no, it's only because so on SmackDown they did that whole thing where he was like saying that someone's gonna be on a team, but then they chose Otis. But mind you, wasn't like the previous promo was that Big E was still there.
Right.
And then we got Otis instead of Big E, and that was everyone was saying.
Yeah.
That Big E trended and made Otis trend.
That's what pissed me off even more.
Everyone was like, "Oh, but Big E was right there, but yet we got Otis," kind of thing in the team. But we should have been Big E. But mind you, though, I wouldn't have wanted it to be Big E, and he's gonna get washed the way Otis got washed. So
I was actually favoring Team SmackDown to win because obviously the whole thing with Raw was that they were just completely faltering, and then there were just no communications. But then knowing WWE, they act like they don't, and all of a sudden they work like a perfect like synergy team, like on
they were
the
still
big
fighting
night.
at the show, but
I think it was both teams that couldn't gel.
But it wasn't. Yeah, no one was fighting about who's captain, and everyone was broke. There was no finishes on it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's why I was kind of favoring that SmackDown was gonna just run everything. But Raw is Vince's baby.
Raw just completely washed SmackDown. But
yeah,
how long was that match? Was it long?
That match was just under 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Just under 20 minutes. So yeah, of course, yeah. Team Raw won. No eliminations on their side. It was all right. Next match was this one. The Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford against the New Day. Now this one was this was for me. This was one of the strongest matches of the night.
For me, this was match of the night. I was actually invested in this match a lot.
Right. Yeah, and of course the New Day came out in the Gears of War attire, which looked sick. And obviously even
I bought that downloadable content as well.
I haven't got it yet. I haven't played it yet.
I'm not even that person. Like I refuse to do games with the multi-transactions, whatever you call it.
Yeah, microtransactions in it. Yeah.
So I'm not that one that will spend money on downloadable content or spend money on things like just like cosmetic things.
Yeah,
I'll spend money if it's like a whole. So if it would have been like a whole thing or whatever, like a New Day storyline and whatnot, then fair enough. But it's just the cosmetic and whatnot. But because it's New Day, I was like, I have to get it.
100%.
I have to get it. They have their own little taunts, they have their own little lines and all that sort of stuff. It's just like mad cool. And they have their patterns and the guns and all that sort of stuff as well. So I was like, yep, get it as soon as it launched and whatnot. I'm like, yep.
Did you do the same thing when it was Batista?
Batista I got with the launch.
Yeah, it's free. I think he's free. I think. Yeah, of course. But yeah, obviously the Street Profits won against the New Day. Right. What did you think of that match?
Epic match. It's making me smile. It was a really good tag team match. And you know what? You know when a match is good, like from the entrance, like not even just the match, the entrance. Obviously, we talked about New Day's entrance, sick, and it was good to see the three of them together again. But Street Profits entrance, that little
and the promo was sick.
If you watch previous episodes, I used to hate these guys. I just thought stereotypical black guys,
Street Profits.
like some poor version of Crime Time. Just all this, I just thought they were loud. But listen, I've been obviously over the past few months, even before they went to SmackDown, I've grown to love them. And yeah, that little section before they came out, when Montez was I was
beatboxing the Undertaker's theme, right?
Yeah, everything. Do you know what I mean? And just the build up to this match, I think it's been cool. There was a segment where Kofi nailed Montez Ford in terms of just mocking how he talks in dialect. I don't know if you saw that segment.
I may have. I've seen
it on SmackDown, right?
No, it was on Raw. And he was just, which one's the big one? Dawkins.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was he was like slurring his speech like how Dawkins does and everything. It was deep. It was deep. But just little back and forths. The little segment on the SmackDown with Big E was cool. And then, like I said, that bit just before they came out was hype. That got me hyped. And for the first time that I can remember, I went in thinking, this is going to be a great match. I actually don't want New Day to win.
Fair enough.
I thought to myself, Street Profits, need this win. They deserve this win.
Yeah.
And they got the win.
That
So,
was me as well. Like
I
from the
was
get.
pleasantly happy with that, man. It was a perfect match. Nothing to critique about it.
Cool. What about you, Matthew? What do you think of the match?
Not gonna lie.
Oh god, here we go.
Oh no.
It was a good match, don't get me wrong.
Big butt, so we're waiting for his butt.
I didn't want New Day to be in that match in the Survivor Series.
Oh, you wanted to be her business.
Yeah, because I think
You wanted what, sir?
Hurt Business.
Oh, Hurt Business versus Street Profits, you mean?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I personally think that Hurt Business is the best tag team. Well, faction.
Oh yeah, 110%.
Oh, yeah.
Faction? Absolutely.
110%.
So I feel like they should have given it to Shelton Benjamin and
Cedric.
Cedric. Yeah,
That would have been fire as well.
and
Yeah.
It still would have
done
been a good
that
match,
really.
yeah.
Because I was thinking, you know how they had the exchange of titles. I was thinking to myself, they could have done more with that.
Oh yeah. I think they could put like maybe like a tournament or like or just have it up for grabs kind of thing. So put all the best tag teams in a match and then whoever wins. Yeah. So I agree with that. They could have done something better with that.
Really, you wouldn't have just said so if New Day went to Raw and Street Profits go to SmackDown, then they just literally swapped the belts.
It's just a bit dry, innit?
I mean,
Yeah.
it is. I mean, it makes sense because it's like.
But
you know,
if that was the case, then don't make a whole segment about it. If anything, just do it behind the scenes. We don't need to see like this pointless segment of them just swapping over and nothing really came of it, and then like they just go their merry way kind of thing. I
think
don't know.
them making the scene was an inside joke of how, because I think Xavier was even said, "Yep, this is the best decision." Like it was taking the mick.
I guess.
to show that scene, but it would have just made sense if I don't know. You can't really say because Street Profits already had titles, but maybe New Day shouldn't have won anything until they went to Raw.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how you work that out.
Because if Street Profits take the Raw titles to SmackDown, then it's like, well, then SmackDown's still without a champion.
Exactly. Yeah.
So then it was just like, if you're going to move the titles, it makes sense. But then maybe it would have made more sense if you're going to do it. So you remember how it was like World Tag Team and WWE Tag Team? So it was like, you're swapping the belts. Literally the belts.
Nah, I know what should have happened.
But then, because the belts are equal, it's almost like, well, if your Raw Tag Team champions go to SmackDown, they have to become SmackDown Tag Champs. Get it what I'm saying?
True. Yeah. But I think on what you said about possibly like a tournament sign, I think... Street Profits get traded to Raw. They drop the titles. Like, they don't have to...
Oh, you mean to SmackDown?
No, they just let go of the titles. The titles are... What's the word they use?
Vacated.
Yeah.
They go to Raw. They go to SmackDown, sorry. And maybe they beat Shinsuke and Cesaro or whatever. New Day come to Raw and win whatever tournament there is to get the Raw titles. That would have been more... As opposed to, hey...
There is, but then you also do that thing where you do that, it's a typical like WCW move, innit? To kind of be like, oh, well, everything you saw up to this point is now washed. Because like Street Profits did all that build up with their titles. Fair enough, New Day won it the week before they were traded or whatever. Oh, they won it on trade night, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So then it's like, so understandable New Day won. That could be like, if they're traded, then it's like, oh, well, now you have to drop the belts. But Street Profits were built up. So even if they were going to go to SmackDown, it doesn't make sense for them to have to fight for the titles again. Because they've already had that build up. So then to kind of be like, oh, well, we're just going to take the belts off of you. You have to earn it again. Now you kind of take away everything that they've done up to that point. You get it? Well, that's just my opinion on that.
Fair enough.
But yes, New Day were not supposed to win this match.
Yeah, definitely. They didn't need it. You know, they're more than well established. Street Profits are the ones that they need another strong team because God knows like WWE do not rate tag teams. You know, they don't. So just don't run them down to the ground.
Ford's Frog Splash, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's up there with RVD.
Do you prefer it when he does it like a straight one, or do you prefer when he turns in the air?
Either one. I feel
just the higher he gets, the better. Man.
Yeah, he's like that is up there with RVD. Like definitely, definitely, it's crazy, and the way he sells it afterwards.
I think he gets higher than RVD. You know?
Oh yeah, I think so as well. Yeah, I think so. But like just the impact.
No one gets higher than RVD.
Nice one. But yeah, it was solid. Even if it was a Hurt Business, I'm pretty sure it would have been a great match as well. But yeah, definitely a strong contender for the match of the night. So yeah, the Street Profits won. Next match was Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn in a champion versus champions match. Mr. Rhymes, I got a feeling you have something on your mind to say about this. What's your thoughts on this?
Something on my mind is that this match was just shit. It did nothing for anyone, and that's the unfortunate thing. It's like we were just saying we like Hurt Business, right? So we're all like, high on the Hurt Business. And in this match, it did nothing for either superstar.
I've noticed that Bobby Lashley's opponents are just absolute tragedies. Like, what was the one before that? Was it the one from Retribution? What's his
Well,
name?
that was
Slapjack.
Well, that was tragic because that was just a filler on the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view or whatever, and they chose the opponent on the night. That's how you know it was filler.
Yeah.
But then with this one against Sami Zayn, it was like there's a way that you can kind of have these mid-card champions matches, and you can kind of put over Sami Zayn in favor of Bobby Lashley. Does that make sense? In the sense that Bobby Lashley still was going to win because it just makes sense given like the role that he's on in comparison to Sami Zayn. But Sami Zayn is still IC champ. You can't have him go out without a fight. But in this match, you made him literally run around the ring trying to get counted out or DQ'd and whatnot. And it was almost like, what are we watching here? It literally felt like you didn't even watch a match.
And then he was walking backwards, and he somehow trips over MVP, and it was like, he cheating. He hit
Right.
me. Throw him in.
It did nothing for either superstar. And it was like, how long was that match?
7 minutes 50 seconds.
See, exactly 7 minutes of nothing. Of nothing.
But you know why I will say that it doesn't hurt Sami or anything negative in that regards is because Sami's character right now is cowardly. So he's playing his character to a T. This isn't like...
No, yeah.
If it was the old Sami doing this, we'd be vexed. Because
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
come on,
I get
he's
that.
playing his role perfectly. So all that stuff, tripping over and stuff, it's comical, but it's like what you expect. So I'm either expecting him to somehow win the match by some way of cheating, or lose the match and then come up with a really funny excuse on SmackDown as to why he lost the match, and it doesn't faze him at all.
Yeah.
He'll still come out on SmackDown and hold the title. I'm still the Intercontinental Champion. I had a cold or whatever. He will probably start talking about vertigo again. And it will work, and we won't think any less of him. So in that sense, I can appreciate that, but I do get it in the sense of it. It was filler. It was like when you have two heels, it's a bit tricky sometimes.
Yeah.
Like.
But going into the match, Sami Zayn was kind of put in the position of the underdog and the face because Bobby Lashley came out with the whole Hurt business.
Yeah.
So it's like from when that happened straight
Came
away,
out with the
it was like
squad.
it's now. So I was like, so from here on out, it's like 4-on-1. So I was like, okay, so basically Sami Zayn is the face in this. So the idea is that you root for him to win, but yet he still played the role of the heel in the match. So it was kind of like, and then there was barely no action in this match. So
I think they pushed it as still root for Bobby.
Bobby?
Yeah, in a way, because obviously, yes, Bobby Lashley had all his goons and stuff, but who was the one really doing the heel stuff? It was Sami. Sami was trying to cheat. Sami was trying to... But Lashley was just really wrestling, really.
Yeah.
just trying to wrestle, so to speak. But yeah, it was just...
Wow.
Like, well, okay. I see how you took it. I didn't mean it like that. I meant trying to wrestle in the sense
What
of
did
like...
you think of Sami and Bobby Lashley? Wait, the conversation just went...
I mean, the thing is, I feel like, as we said, it was a shit match. But,
See, so it wasn't even just me. Like, oh my god.
but I think it's a matter of like, where do they go like from here, sort of thing. Because I'm thinking they don't have a credible challenger for Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley has had a credible champion for a credible opponent, especially for his championship in a long while. Like since he's become
Who did
champion.
he beat for it?
Apollo.
Yeah. So he's still champion right now?
Yeah, still
Yeah.
champion.
Okay, because I saw, like, you know when you see something on Instagram and you turn away? I saw
Oh,
someone
right.
else holding the US title. I was like,
Oh.
what did I see? But,
No, that must be
no,
old.
He still won it.
So I was like, cool.
Fair enough. But yeah, like you said, it was mediocre at best. That is so far the shortest match, and rightfully so, the shortest match of the night. Definitely 7 minutes 50 seconds.
Who could face Lashley for the title, though? Who's a credible...
On Raw?
It would have to be on Raw.
Keith.
No, because I don't want Keith Lee in the mid-card title picture.
Oh, yeah, true.
He needs to be like main event,
Yeah,
especially
but
now that
there's
they've
no-
given him the new theme. So
There's no space for him. That
The
nah,
WWE Championship?
not yet. Not
I
yet.
know, but he needs to start building up for there because look, they changed his theme, so he's
Doesn't
on the come
matter.
up. He's on the come up.
Dude, it does not matter. They changed Nikki Cross's theme music. You think she's on the come up?
You know
Well,
what?
no, but they changed hers for the worse.
Yeah,
Whereas
worse, yeah.
Keith Lee's changed now. It's like, so in the last show, I said that I thought that he was like too far gone and whatnot because of how bad they changed his
This is exactly
presentation.
why I see it as difficult to see him in the main event scene.
So you agree? Oh, so I was
No,
right.
because I think you gotta understand. Yes, the NXT diehards will know that. Yeah, he deserves this, he deserves that. But for most people still just stick to Raw or SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fair to say. So if your debut on SmackDown or Raw is not
Subpar.
that's your introduction to that guy. So
Right.
if I'm basing it on purely what I've seen on Raw, I'm thinking this guy ain't beating anyone for the WWE Championship. But someone else who's watched NXT is gonna think, "Are you mad? He's better than everyone on the
Right.
roster." Like,
So you're literally proving my entire point and everything I was
100%.
saying in the last show, like that Keith Lee was probably beyond being saved at this point. This is why we did push Fire Berry. I said that I would have to let him go because I feel like he's too far gone. But his presentation was better at some Survivor Series. I kind of was like, oh, okay.
You know, on your point, maybe him winning the US title will help get him back up. So
That's what I'm saying. I think I don't think there's no space because right now I don't think he's gonna be in any position to challenge for the title. As it if you've seen Raw, I don't think he's anywhere close even trying to.
He's going into the match for it, so there's a chance. I think he'll be the next.
I don't think he's gonna win
next one.
We'll talk about it afterwards. We'll talk about it afterwards. We'll talk about it afterwards. That's what I'm saying. We'll get there.
But I'm thinking to myself though, like we wouldn't want him to be something like Shinsuke, like up on the top, like straight away, challenging for the WWE title WrestleMania. And then literally just go to...
But no, Shinsuke, I feel bad for him because he came at the worst time because they were just all the way up Jinder's ass at the time.
True.
So he was like, if it wasn't for that Jinder thing and the whole market stuff, Shinsuke could have been champion. But because Jinder was there, I don't think
Shinsuke lost to Jinder.
He was a victim of the Jinder experiment. So...
experiment, you know.
Oh yeah, that's the comment. It was definitely an experiment.
I was so here for Jinder Mahal as champion, and I don't understand why Jinder Mahal hasn't come back to Raw for Drew McIntyre. And that's a whole history thing right there. So
I think they were gonna do that, and then he got injured.
Yeah, he got injured on his debut back.
Oh, he's injured.
Not his debut match. He had a match. He had a couple matches, or at least one.
He had one, yeah. Then he got injured in the same match. That's what I meant. So his debut back, his re-debut. So
that's literally like a Chelsea Green situation right there. Isn't it? She stays being injured. Like, oh my god, she like broke her hand on the ring roster. She came back and she broke her hand again. So it's like
it's bad luck.
Glass wrists. Sorry, go ahead.
I know you're ready to move to the next one, but like I would say that another person for Lashley for the title, Joe coming off the commentary desk.
I would love for Joe. I think
but I'm actually okay for him on commentary. I think he does.
Oh, he's
justice.
great on commentary.
He's great.
Can you imagine Joe and Lashley?
I think he's got one more run in him. Yeah.
Oh,
he's another one that just
Joe's
stays being
chilling,
injured.
man. Don't even say one more run like he's at the end of his days. He's here for time, man.
He's in like a Taz position, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
you
but
can
they just
still go,
don't.
but you just
In WWE's eyes, he has one last run. I think. You know, as much as I think
I
he's still got.
He's had his run. Like every time it's about to start, he gets injured or something. Like.
Wait, he was in the was he in the Continental champion? No, he was US champion.
Yeah, he was, but then he lost it in seconds,
Every
didn't he?
big thing that was supposed to happen, like remember.
So whose fault is that then?
I don't know.
Fate.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't
Still,
want.
they haven't shot the rocket with him yet.
Yeah, no, I think right now because of the injuries, you know how when someone's so injury prone, they completely go cold turkey on people.
Yeah.
True.
Please see Dolph Ziggler. Please see
Corey Graves.
freaking Corey Graves. I don't even.
Alexa
know.
Bliss was kind of in that position as well because when she got her concussion, they were just like,
Yeah.
she was still on TV, but she was nowhere near the ring. And she was like doing her segments. She was doing hosting things.
Yeah.
She was nowhere near the ring for like.
Sami Zayn. Look how long he was out. He was ready to go, and he just was busy being a manager of LA. You know what I'm saying? They go cold turkey on people, and you know, it takes a lot of convincing for them to go back on you again. So you know, who knows? That might be an option.
Because you remember with that,
Something with Joe, yeah. Maybe.
Corey Graves got too many concussions to the point that they made him retire, and he's been on the commentary ever since.
Oh yeah, of course,
yeah.
cool, yeah. Which is understandable. I mean, concussions. They have had lawsuits upon lawsuits regarding concussions, so they played it safe with that. But once you get injured, and if it's too consistent, it takes a lot of
they're just
convincing.
like, nope.
Yeah. Dolph Ziggler is a bit unfortunate though. That was a bit bullshit, but we'll go into that another time. Next match was Sasha Banks versus Asuka.
Hey, yes.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he's a Sasha Banks mark.
I stand for the women wrestling period.
And
of course, Sasha Banks
but
mark.
especially Sasha
I'm an
Banks.
Asuka mark. I'm an Asuka mark too as well though. So don't worry. What I will say for this match though is that I wasn't expecting a SummerSlam rematch because SummerSlam their match was epic. Like that was a really good match.
Yeah.
So to top that was always going to be hard for them. I like that they kept it to being technical. So it wasn't a spot fest. It wasn't we can put on the match just as good as, or it wasn't kind of a match that they were trying to, I don't know, be the best on the card or anything like that. It was just a match that shows their reversals, their holds, ways that they could like feed into certain positions and doing certain little.
There's a couple botches though, and it was a little bit shoddy at times, if I recall. But But yeah, I think it was still solid enough. You
Yeah,
know? It didn't top their last match, I don't think.
But no, but I guess because the way it was pinned at SummerSlam was more or less meant to be the kind of finish of it, or finish of their feud. But then when you kind of in this position now as champion versus champion, on the way up, they were 2-2.
Right.
So it's like, okay, well now this is literally the rubber match. Like, where do you really go? Because to top their SummerSlam match would mean that this match would have to be like a match with a stipulation or something, and it's just like, if you're going to put a title on the line, then that's kind of giving it away that champion's going to retain.
Yeah.
But then if you you can't give them, out of all of them, the last woman standing match, the Hell in a Cell, the cage, you can't give them something, and then everyone else just got a regular match. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Of course.
So if in that case, just in terms of the storytelling in the match, just keep it very technical and very kind of grounded, which is what they did, and I was okay with that.
All right.
The better champion won though. She finally got her big win.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That is true, actually. Yeah, definitely. What about you, Rides? What did you think of that match?
I thought it was a good match, decent. There was a lot of technical wrestling during the match, which was cool. I won't lie. I when you get invested into the story and the character, and you just forget about the real person and you just look at their character. I just wanted Sasha to get humbled. I'm not gonna lie. I just thought, you're talking too reckless. Like on SmackDown, like the standard, I'm the best. I was like, yo,
That's
chill.
just,
Like,
no.
I get it. Like it's perfect for her, but as a fan, if I just take myself out of reality, I'm like, nah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, shut up. You know what I mean? I wanted Asuka to tap her out. Like, so when she got the win, I was like, but good for her. But it was a good match. Admittedly, it wasn't a match I was like, oh, I can't wait to see this match. I wasn't really.
Well, we've already had it 4 times already, so it's
It's just, and then
Twice on Raw.
And then the build. What's the thing with these Survivor Series matches? Like, it's almost like a feud next to another feud. So really, I don't know what Asuka's doing, but really, they're building this Sasha Carmella thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
So that's what the
She's
focus
another
is. And
victim
so,
to the theme songs as well.
So the match is kind of random. It's just purely theme Survivor Series.
Yeah,
Just put these
100%.
together, but.
Yeah, that's another thing I've really noticed, that they really, in my opinion, I'll get into that later on. But yeah,
but I'll say, so what I just said about Sasha and Asuka, obviously both being champions of both brands, but it just feels forced and random just to tick the box of Survivor Series.
Yes.
But then Drew and Roman were the same kind of champions, same kind of characters, yet they made us invested. Drew is invested with Randy Orton. Roman Reigns is invested with the Jey Uso thing, but somehow we were able to take a break from that, and actually we were at least I was invested in this Drew and Roman thing.
But then
they didn't do that for Asuka and Sasha.
They didn't do that for Asuka and Sasha because for some reason they just like dropped the ball on Asuka because she doesn't actually have a contender for her title right now. So it's like the tag team belts and Asuka and the Raw Women's belt, they're just on Raw and they're just there. They're not doing anything with either champion. SmackDown, they're at least doing something with Sasha Banks. They're using her to kind of bring up Carmella and whatnot, which is fine. But then again, so you're more invested in that storyline as opposed to being invested in Sasha Banks and Asuka. That literally was Survivor Series prone or whatever. But then with the initial thing being Randy Orton and Roman Reigns, they kept doing that whole thing where they were talking about hasn't Randy defeated Roman for the title, or was it a retain or something like that? Like, when did Randy Orton defeat Roman Reigns? And then Roman Reigns has defeated Randy Orton too. So they've had back and forth. So they were kind of building that.
Right.
Then they had a SmackDown where Drew McIntyre came out and was like, regardless of anything that's you're not going to be facing Randy Orton, you're going to be facing me. And so now you're kind of like, oh, okay. But then that was to more build the basis for Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre on Raw.
Yeah.
And then when you then have that match and then McIntyre went over, and you're like, okay, so now we are getting Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, Roman Reigns. But then on SmackDown they had like a whole 25-minute, half-an-hour segment of some big old promo that like
it was a contract signing. Why is there a contract signing for a Raw versus SmackDown match? Like they've never done that
right,
for any Survivor Series. Like, why do you have to make a contract signing?
But it was so kind of like they literally like had to they fed but they like pushed that kind of, so this match is the match and that kind of thing. They really like, okay then, so this is the big
Such
match.
a pointless contract signing. It didn't make like you don't do it for any other match, any other type of matches. Why is it just for that one? It didn't really make no sense. But
I mean, probably
whatever.
it was done to like create tension because you saw how like the week before.
Then have a sit down, not a contract signing. Have a sit down, just in backstage. Like, why do you think you're gonna win? I'm gonna win because I'm Roman Reigns. Like, just stop. That's that kind of bullshit. Not a contract signing, but whatever.
But the thing is, though, I'm thinking that contract signing there proved how good Roman Reigns is.
Oh yeah, I love Roman. Oh, yeah,
You
he's
see it
a-
proved
yeah.
how-
Godfather.
at the
Like,
side of the
remember,
table.
it was Adam Pierce. He was sitting in this. Like, you're in my seat, nigga. All right. Head of the table. Yeah, man. Godfather style.
Mind
Love
you,
it.
though, I'm not gonna lie. Roman Reigns delivering his promo, all I could hear was Paul Heyman.
Really?
In that promo, you couldn't hear. So the way Roman Reigns was speaking and whatnot, you couldn't hear Paul Heyman in that.
I wasn't paying
He
attention.
was doing a lot animated. Like,
All I could hear was Paul Heyman. Like literally, that promo, word from word, did not sound like something that I think that
Oh,
either
you
Roman wrote for
mean-
himself or.
Oh.
You mean the contract signing, right?
Well, yeah, that promo that
Oh.
Roman cut and whatnot, everything that he was saying, that did not sound like anything that I've either heard from Roman or anything that to
Oh,
me
right.
just sounded like that
Right.
was 100% Paul Heyman. That
Funny
promo.
enough, some of the
That's
words
all
that
I
he did
could hear.
say, because I was watching a Paul Heyman interview just before Survivor Series, and he was all saying like you're the right guy at the right place, but at the wrong time. And Paul Heyman was discussing about this stuff, and there were certain elements. So I see what you mean.
That whole promo to me
that
just
reeked of Paul Heyman.
Yeah, it
I
just
get
said,
that.
okay, Paul
I
Heyman.
totally get that, but it still was good.
I'm not taking that away. Like
Yeah,
that was a
yeah,
good
yeah.
promo, but it's just that's what I got. Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
I mean, probably a good comparison to probably check is his promo against John Cena, and then this one last week.
God
Something
damn
you
it.
definitely see the difference between those.
Roman
two,
Reigns
though.
when he forgot his lines. It's called a promo. You need to be good at this.
Yeah, come on, let's do it.
That was crazy. You remember that, don't you?
Yeah.
That was.
Did you have much thoughts on the Sasha Asuka? I think that's what we were originally.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
right
yeah.
off on a
I thought
tangent.
it was a good match, but like there was one part that I thought something was gonna happen. You know, at the end of the match, and you saw like Asuka's facial expression.
Oh, you thought she was gonna turn?
Yeah, because like you know,
she
on
was
SmackDown,
pissed.
the previous one, like where you know, when Commander was attacking Sasha.
Yeah, she was
Literally
just
did
standing
nothing.
there.
I felt like it was gonna lead to like a heel turn or something.
Yeah. No, I get that.
So I thought it was building off something.
That would have been interesting. And you know what? I forgot to say this earlier. On heel turns, you know who else I thought was possibly? I'm watching and I'm thinking they're gonna turn. They might turn. You know who? New Day.
Ah,
When the Street Profits were there, like, I really thought
Yeah.
whole handshake and hug. I was like thinking they might turn. But
Yeah.
let's not start a conversation. About that. I just thought like.
I remember I did obviously keep everyone updated on my Insta, and then people were saying like the way Big E had the titles and stuff, they were thinking that Big E was gonna turn on the New Day for some very weird reason.
I thought that was them saying that the switch was completely abolished, so Big E was now going to be on Raw.
Oh no, I think it was just purely for promo reasons. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I get that because
Yeah.
all three of them were in the game, but then
Yeah.
because Big E came out holding the belts
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they were introduced as the New Day, as opposed to it being them just saying Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, the New Day. It was like.
But
the New
Big E
Day.
still comes out to the New Day music though, so it's still
Yeah.
the New Day. So yeah, that's why everyone was thinking that Big E. But that would have been a good one if Big E or New Day turned. That would have been cool. I would be down for that. But yeah, moving swiftly on, it was the co-main event. This was the women's 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match, and Team Raw consisted of Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Lana, Lacey Evans, and Peyton Royce against Team SmackDown, which consisted of Bianca Belair, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Bayley, and Natalya. I must say, let me just get this off my chest. This match was a shambles.
I had the word shambles in my head, but I was gonna refer to the build. The build was shambles.
The build was
Like,
everything.
There was no build for this match. It was just the build was everyone getting onto the teams. No,
and it was all about Natalya complaining.
Yeah.
Basically, it was
Now you
basically
can
Natalya complaining, Lana getting beat up,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
getting injured and replaced randomly. Like it was just.
yeah.
Well, Mandy was genuinely injured though, so therefore it's like to get them out. I don't understand why Dana Brooke had to get taken out of it though.
Because they
But then
didn't. I read about it. They said that they didn't. They basically want them as a unit. So
Yeah,
to have
okay.
Dana on the match by herself.
And then obviously with the Chelsea
Team.
Green thing, she was originally meant to win that match,
yeah,
but
so
then
she gave her to
so they give it to
Morgan, innit?
yes. So it kind of worked out perfect because why have Ruby Riott and not Liv Morgan in this way it worked. But yeah, the whole match itself was an absolute shambles. It was botches everywhere.
There was only one signature botch. You said botches everywhere. There was only one real botch, and that was only
If-
because
if
Natty
I-
didn't secure Peyton Royce's legs.
Oh, that botched up
Pin up strong.
that one, and
She
then
tried
it was.
to do that, but then Peyton Royce's
I
legs
felt that
came
the
undone.
superplex that I think not everyone was crowded up, so like Ruby Wright like completely destroyed her back. I think there was everything was just shoddy about it. I just didn't like it. And then the other person that really stood out that did well, Bianca Belair.
She was your only standout.
I think she was a standout. Yeah, definitely.
No, she
and
was your only standout.
and maybe a little bit Liv Morgan, but that was about it.
My 3 standouts in that match were so Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, and Peyton Royce. Peyton Royce, she showed out in that match.
I felt she was kind of forgotten in that match, but yeah, I thought it was definitely. I think it was like the weakest match out of the whole Survivor Series. What did you think about it, Matt? Though.
I agree, because I was actually going to say that I haven't actually watched the match myself.
Okay,
I
fair
didn't
enough. You
either.
saved some time.
I knew it was going to be shit anyway. so I was going to say
It
that.
just reeked
But
of.
the only person I feel like, aside from like Bianca Belair, like I feel like one person who should be pushed, but being in the tag teams really made him lose credibility, was Shayna Baszler.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Because I feel like she should be probably Raw Women's Champion by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
They didn't push. They didn't. What's that word? The shoot their shot or take the plunge for
Mania.
WrestleMania when they were meant to. I think even the thing is that Becky Lynch said in her interview or something like that she said that she wanted to drop it to Shayna Baszler at WrestleMania, but they were like, no, like Becky Lynch was going to retain, only for her to give it up the next pay-per-view. So
backwards.
it was like
backwards. Yeah, they really fucked that one up. Yeah, Shayna Baszler, but I don't know. She's actually older than you think she is, isn't it?
she's what?
She's quite older than people think she is. I
No,
think
that's the thing.
you'd be surprised though. You'd be surprised though.
Late 30s, yeah, something like
No, she's 40.
But in the same breath with Shayna Baszler, it's like one of them things where also my whole thing of why Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler were becoming tag champs. Fair enough, there was a lot of what's that word? Foreshadowing for them being tag champs and whatnot, which I understand where they're going with the storyline now that people have pointed out to me, because in watching the Survivor Series match when their whole the storyline angle that they're doing right now is they're bullying Lana, right?
Yeah.
Where that's coming from, I don't know, but then where I'm assuming that they're going with this is it's going to be that Lana is going to set up Charlotte's return. Because remember, Shayna Baszler was feuding with Charlotte, and then Nia Jax took out Charlotte. So basically, them two have a vendetta against Charlotte, or Charlotte will have a vendetta against them. But right now, they're bullying Lana, and Charlotte hasn't had the tag belts yet. So her return.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Her return will ultimately be to help Lana win to get Lana's retribution over this team, which
That could work. Well, I can see that happening, but it also wouldn't surprise me. As soon as Charlotte comes back, she's just gonna look at Asuka. I want title.
Well, no, she'll look at Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax and take their belts instead.
We'll see, because you know how WWE and Charlotte loves that women's title.
Which is why they'll give her the tag belts. That's the only thing that she hasn't won. That's the only notch underneath Bayley that she hasn't got in it. Because Bayley's got everything.
Maybe, yeah.
Asuka's got everything.
From that perspective, yeah.
Charlotte's the only thing that she hasn't had is the tag belt. So
We'll see. But yeah, the thing with Lana was just. I mean, I knew something. She was gonna be a catalyst with the match. I just didn't think it was gonna be like that. I was just like, she was just standing there by the stairs.
Well, my thing is that I knew that she was gonna be the sole survivor. That's literally what this entire build-up was gonna be. It made sense. She was gonna be the sole survivor. I hated that. I was like, well, you got people like Liv Morgan, like Bianca Belair, like Naive even on SmackDown. But yeah, I know that Lana's gonna be the sole survivor somehow, and they're just like, it was killing me how it was gonna get to that point.
Yeah.
It was dumb that Shayna Baszler got herself disqualified, although I get the story. It's like, how else are you going to eliminate Shayna Baszler? And then
I fucking tumble over the barricade with Bianca Belair and
right
Nia Jax.
in the 9th second as well. So it's like, it was like completely pointless. You're going to do the big move at the 9th second, and now you're not going to make the count. And it's like, oh, so the sole survivor is Lana. And you're like,
it's,
okay.
Ridiculous. Nia Jax's facial response was as ridiculous. She was like, are you fucking kidding me? It was just hilarious, but
I actually don't understand why they're pushing Lana.
What do you mean you don't understand why they're pushing Lana?
I literally don't understand.
Miro is a big thing in AEW. Capitalize on that. Make Lana big in WWE.
Oh yeah, true.
I mean, I didn't really get that because I thought they were burying her with the the tables like 9 times in a week. But now obviously they're doing this thing where she obviously won Survivor Series, and then obviously she randomly gets a title shot, which was fucking out of nowhere. Yeah, so now it makes sense they're pushing her, but it was just a very long-winded, weird way.
I heard that dirt sheets or whatever, that they're doing it to build sympathy for her so they can push her.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Star.
Yeah.
Whether that works, I don't know. The match itself, I thought the standouts for me were Nia Jax and Lacey Evans. I thought that
Standouts?
Fair enough.
I'm joking.
Okay, fair enough to say. I was about to say. I was just like,
I had to be like,
Hey, you lot were trying to be nice. Oh, fair enough.
I was like, standouts? I said standouts.
Absolutely not. I can't even tell you who was in the match, let alone standouts, man. Like, that was on in the background while I was doing my work, marking books. But yeah, it was. You know what I mean? It was cool. Bianca was cool. Yeah, I think the most interesting thing is obviously what they're doing with Lana, but even then it's like bottom.
yeah.
But we'll have to see where it goes.
Yeah.
I'm in agreement with you guys about Shayna. I think the Nia Jax and Shayna thing. I mean, there's some cool elements to it. There's times where segments are a bit funny and stuff, but she could have been champion by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have been champion
Even
by
with Nia, with all the negative things that people can say about her, they could be using her better. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. I've just always thought that the women's tag team division has been treated like a joke since it started. Outside of when Bayley and Sasha recently had it.
Yeah.
Take
But
that one out of the way.
Yeah, and even since they've had it, the tag belts have only been on Raw.
Yeah.
So it's like
Even though it's meant to be on every type of brand.
Yeah, on all three shows, but yeah, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax.
They showed up on
only
SmackDown
been-
once, to be fair, but they definitely haven't been to like NXT or defended it on.
Yeah,
SmackDown.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
So,
What a joke. Anyway, moving
we
swiftly
spent
on.
way too long on that.
Yeah, definitely.
The match that was that bad.
That was
Oh,
actually
that-
the second
Longest?
longest match on the card. 23 minutes and 20 seconds.
Crazy.
Whew.
Yeah.
But this is how we were last time, innit? We spent like a good 10, 15 minutes discussing Bobby Lashley and Slapjack. And it was like the
you're
worst
right.
match on the card and the least match, but yet we spent a good
Yeah.
15 minutes about that match.
Ridiculous. But yeah, so we moved on to the main event, which was, of course, Roman Reigns alongside Paul Heyman with that was against Drew McIntyre in the champion versus champions match. And yeah, this one was 24 minutes and 50 seconds, and Roman Reigns won via technical submission. Who should I go first? Matthew. Yeah.
Our guest.
Personally, I would say that match couldn't have gone any better.
Any better?
Perfect winner.
Yeah.
And yeah, like
I said the finish was good as well. Like Drew McIntyre didn't technically tap.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really
Saved
harm
him,
him.
yeah.
It saved him. Yeah, it was solid, good close calls. Not sure if I agree the fact that Jey Uso had to interfere.
That was
I
going
would
to
have
be my
liked a
thing.
clean finish.
Yeah, I would have
Yeah.
liked a clean finish because
Considering it was such a great match.
Yeah.
For I get it and it worked.
Yeah.
But it also kind of tainted it as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
But-
this is my
100%.
thing. It's like you're building Roman Reigns as this kind of juggernaut champ that he's supposed to be, and he's meant to be like, I guess, I say new brothers, but he's meant to be of that
Yeah,
caliber,
of
you know what I
course.
mean? But yet, in that match, he hit Drew with so many spears and all of that sort of stuff. I think he tried to do the submission. Did Drew break out of it the first
Yeah,
time?
it was like try to do it.
So it's like, so basically you've made Roman Reigns throw everything at him, and literally a super kick helped him get the victory. So it's
Yeah.
almost like it's like you gave Roman the win because you were never going to have Roman lose, but you tainted his win because he had to have help, and that's not Roman Reigns.
I mean, I get that because obviously Jay was also on the brink of getting booted out of the family because that's what he said backstage, innit? He said like, "Well, no, I don't want you in the family." Like,
Even before Jay, he still low blowed him though. Remember?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
but then the low blow, I get that. That's like okay, it's desperate, but it's still.
It's a weird one because on one hand, the justification of all that is that he's a heel.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, you mentioned it. I don't think you realized you said it. Brock Lesnar was a heel and never
Had to do
needed
that. Yeah. Never had to resort to cheating
No.
or anything like that. It was
Yeah.
just that he would throw everything at you and then eventually get you down, which is what Roman Reigns should have done in that match. Throw everything at you and eventually you go down.
yeah, 100%.
But then to be like, you low blowed him, Jey Uso had to interfere, all of this stuff happened, and then you got the win. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, definitely. I think Jey Uso's timing was a bit off, but I think he's obviously, like I say, if they didn't do that segment where like he was threatening to boot him out of the family, then yeah, he probably wouldn't. Jey Uso wouldn't have came in. But Jey had to do something for him to secure a spot at the table. That's the only thing.
But do you think it would have made more sense that if they were going to have Jey Uso interfere, they should have had a Raw Superstar interfere to make it so that even if it is going to be more or less about this whole being kicked out of the family and all that sort of stuff, but at the end of the day, this is still meant to be.
It could have been Sheamus.
This is still meant to be a Raw versus SmackDown match.
Yeah.
So
there was talk about it was meant to be Sheamus to cost Drew McIntyre the match.
Well,
So-
no, that makes sense and whatnot. If someone's going to cost Drew McIntyre the match, then that's understandable.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
in this case, because Roman Reigns had help. So it's like if you're going to have Jey Uso come out and then make the interference, it wouldn't have made sense to have a Raw superstar interfere as well. So rather than it be Roman needs help, it's just that there's other chaos going on. McIntyre drops the ball. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So then, that could have been a salvageable win or an understandable win. But as it stands right now, Roman Reigns needed help.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it wasn't to the point where it definitely tainted it to a unsavable degree. So it was it was still a great match. Definitely up there with one of the matches of the night. That went on for 24 minutes and 50 seconds. So, but it didn't really feel like that. I don't think it did.
No, it did. For me, it felt like this match was dragging. And the worst thing is that the match happened and the match finished. They still had their whole thing on the ramp and whatnot.
Yeah.
Which my little brother was like, so now he said it's that whole thing of, when someone is so, like in an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
When it's like that whole thing of like they could be like so abusive to you and whatnot, yet you're still like, oh, I love you.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what basically what Jey Uso is right now. It's like, okay, I mean, there is that. It's just like he's literally being bullied to hell by Roman Reigns, but he's like, I'm still here. I got you. And it's like, okay, so abusive relationship, domestic violence, all of that.
But I feel like at the end of the day, it's like it's a small part of something bigger that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
The foreshadowing is Jey Uso will probably win the title at WrestleMania.
You think?
The foreshadowing, yeah.
Who? What?
Jey Uso winning the title.
Nah,
WrestleMania?
he's not gonna win it.
If
If they can't get The Rock, then it's gonna be
Jey Uso, because that's the only match that is being built from now.
Nah.
But it's not being built anymore. Like Jay's,
Jay's still gonna have to find some kind of retribution somewhere along the line.
I don't think so. I think he's in now. He's
Yeah.
he gets it. Now. He
No,
understands.
he's in, but Jimmy isn't. So there's still.
Don't worry,
something
that's
there.
gonna happen. That will happen. It's gonna be the bloodline again, but a heel bloodline, because they want to secure their spot at the table. That's why it all matters.
Yeah.
They want to take it to the table. You know what I'm saying?
My foreshadowing here is that Jey Uso's in for that big push, that big payoff.
Ideally, is the family's expanding. The Rock doesn't like it. He wants to lay the smackdown on Roman Reigns, put him back in check, and it's gonna be The Rock and Roman Reigns if Vince can do it.
But if they can do that, then again, you don't bring The Rock in and have him beat Roman because
Why not? They did it already.
When did Rock come in to beat Roman?
No, not beat Roman, but I mean, just come in just to win the title. He beat CM Punk, and then
But then it wouldn't, because again, it wouldn't do any. The only way that they'll do that is it would have to be that Rock is putting over Roman Reigns. That's the only.
No, you're thinking about status and that, and I get that. You're right, but if you take yourself out of that
For the story.
don't think about politics. Think about the story. Then Rock makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Rock does make sense, but then it also makes for an even better story for Roman to win.
Yeah, I'm talking about him just coming back.
Oh, okay,
Like winning. I mean, can you imagine if Roman beats The Rock? What
That's
that
even
does
better
the
for Roman.
storyline.
Better for
But
Roman.
can
This
you
is
also
WWE
imagine-
now.
But the same way, if Rock wins, it's that happy ending storyline. So it's a win-win in terms of storyline.
Yes.
But I get what you're saying.
And
outside of that,
money and Vince likes doing that kind of stuff. So yeah. Rock will win it, and
Rock
then he
might
probably
not even
lose
come
it.
back, you know.
Say again?
Rock might not even come
He
back.
might not come back.
We
And plus,
might get Roman versus Rikishi or something.
Well, this is why I said it was going to be the payoff is going to be Jey Uso at Mania. Like, I mean, if it doesn't sound like something, but the way the story is going, there's seeds planted, so
God. Roman Reigns versus Rikishi, wow.
It might be something different, but
You look fly today.
Oh no, he didn't even use that theme in this in the next segment. So it was
wait,
like,
that's another thing as well. Do we want to talk about that afterwards?
This is
Wait,
another
with the
reason why.
Taker thing.
This is another reason why I felt like Roman
Wait,
Reigns and
what?
With the Taker.
Oh yeah,
I
let's
thought we were
talk
talking
about
about Rikishi. I was back.
No, 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 no.
He came out.
Rikishi came out.
He was
Yeah,
there,
but
I
he
just
didn't use that.
But I just
theme.
want to see, do you care about it?
We can
talk
briefly.
about it.
Yeah.
You know, I'll still watch it regardless. I mean,
Okay.
Basically, did something happen?
No.
Where
No.
like
No.
there's a storyline.
No.
No.
Okay, cool.
Because
So
like,
it's just a
listen,
tribute.
Because
Basically.
this is why I felt like Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns dragged. Because even when the aftermath and all of that sort of stuff, I was like, I was all ready to kind of be like, yep, so I can go. But yeah, when it faded out, there was no logo to say that the thing had finished. And I was like, oh, but Survivor Series is still going on. And I was like, oh, the Undertaker thing. I was like, oh God, I completely forgot it was going to happen tonight. So I was like, oh, here we go. And then they played the little, what is it, that little trailer thing saying that, you know, it's his 30 year. Then they were like, oh, so here's some random legends to come out.
This was ridiculous.
They're like, here's some random moment where some legends are going to come to the ring to pay homage to the Undertaker. And then
No.
you had,
So, yeah, it was like a little package of the Undertaker thing. Then everyone came out, and then they did a longer package.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, David Blaine did a flipping thing, and then everyone disappeared from the ring. It was just Vince in the ring.
Yeah.
He did some little things, trying to do some crocodile tears.
Mm-hmm.
And then
He was trying to cry.
And then obviously Undertaker, they did the Undertaker theme, and then he had them things from. It looked like from the night. I don't know. It was like some Tesla things.
Yeah,
And
like
you see
synthesizers or whatever. Yeah, synthesizers. Is that what it's called?
whatever it was called, and they played the Undertaker theme through it. Looked cool. I ain't gonna lie. And then obviously the Undertaker come out. You know, he does his 10-minute walk and stuff.
Is he back to the dead man now?
Yeah, he was back to the dead man, and he came out. And then this was funny though. It was when he went up to the stairs. You know when he does that thing where he like yeah. So he went up the stairs, and then all of a sudden, instead of him doing that, he started levitating, like he went up, and then he did the thing. But then I think Undertaker realized that he was a bit too high. So otherwise, he was too high for the ring. So he was literally just standing there.
Yep, he was.
He was literally just standing
And
there.
then they panned out the camera.
And then you could look at the distance. You could see him
He was
going down a
going.
little bit. And then he just come right when he went into the ring. It was just, man.
This is how you know that we watch, like, we dissect the tiniest little thing. Because even I noticed he was a little bit too high, and Undertaker weren't going to step down on that.
It was just like,
they
no,
panned out.
I ain't getting embarrassed on this bitch. I'm going, you better hold this bitch.
It's still live, isn't it?
It was live.
He was not trying to risk it at all. You know when you think you can make the step? Like,
It was just not, we gonna stay all night. You better fucking lower it down. And it was just hilarious. So yeah, then he did that whole thing where he was just walking around the ring, and then like everyone was saying, piped in, thank you, takers.
Yeah.
And then he was like saying all like, you know, finally I laid the Undertaker to rest, all that kind of stuff.
but did the Undertaker speak?
Yeah,
Undertaker
that was
spoke,
it.
yeah,
Undertaker
sorry.
was just like, oh,
What,
Undertaker.
spoke as Mark or spoke as...
No, spoke as the
Undertaker.
Undertaker. Yeah, spoke as the Undertaker.
It's about time. The Undertaker must now rest in peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Walked out and
No.
then that's it.
They didn't walk out. Then obviously he did the thing, and then there was a hologram. It wasn't
Oh,
Tupac,
yes.
Oh yeah, Paul Bearer.
but it was a hologram of Paul Bearer. So which was cool. I like that. That was
Yeah.
alright.
That would have been nice not to have been spoiled. But...
Oh, you said to speak about it. You actually said to speak
And
about
then you
it.
said, we'll talk a little bit about it. Tell me the biggest thing about it. Alright, that's cool.
Oh my
So
god.
Paul Bearer.
Yeah, Paul Bearer.
So
And
they
then
got someone to do his voice, I'm guessing.
no.
No, they just played his voice. That little laugh that he does.
That
It wasn't-
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
and then that was it. I was literally, and then he was just literally just standing there, and I was so expecting someone to like just clock him from behind, but then his music played, and then
He walked out.
that was it.
You said the legends came out. Did they come out individually? 'Cause you said
Yes, all the
It
legends
was
came
long.
out.
So what music did Rikishi use?
He used the Too Cool music, but the other one, the banging it.
Yeah, that
banging
one,
it,
yeah.
banging it. Which I was like, Rikishi never ever used this theme. That's weird that
No.
they played that one.
He did, and I never liked it when he did.
But did he ever use that theme?
Yeah, occasionally. And then one of the last games he's on, that was.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, it
Oh.
must be some licensing reasons why they can't use that one. Because that one, the other one was.
That was
It
his
was just
theme.
because when he teamed up with, I think when he was teaming with Scotty, they started using.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Rikishi.
Yeah,
I guess
Rikishi
you
was
might
there.
Tell me who else now? Who the other legends?
Oh,
JBL.
doesn't it have a list of the
No,
order?
no, it doesn't.
Jeff Hardy.
They must have a list.
Jeff
of the
Hardy
legends.
came.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
So it was
That's
Shane
sick.
McMahon, Big Show, JBL, Jeff Harvey, Mick Foley.
Wow, they got Mick.
Yeah. The Godfather.
He struggled to get in the ring and everything as well. Mick Foley was like nuts.
Oh, yeah, he's fucked.
Yeah,
he's fucked.
he's so far gone now.
The Godfather. Even though they took out the intro, the beginning of his theme, so you know when he used to say "Welcome to the whole train," they took that out. It was just the instrumental, obviously. The Goodwins. I have no idea who these
These
niggas
all-
are.
The Godwins.
Broken.
Sorry, Godwins.
BKR crew or whatever. They
BS.
had.
Yeah, the
BSK.
BSK crew. Yeah. Savio Vega, Rikishi, Kevin Nash.
That was a struggle watching him go up them stairs. Oh my god, Kevin Nash on his knees.
I
See,
swear, I
he's like-
literally heard them creak through the
he
mic to the
tried to go
camera.
up them,
It was,
stairs. It was like, oh god, Kevin Nash. I was like, no, don't do it.
don't blow out your quads like you did last time. Anyway, Booker T, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, Triple H, and then lastly was Kane.
Who came
Bloated
out
Kane
came out in his gear.
Came out in his gear, bloated, chest hair out. It was just,
Is he
yeah, it was
still in
mad.
shape?
He's not in
Yeah.
shape, man.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
One
He's
thing,
the mayor, man.
What's weird though is that Kane came out in his new gear, which again Undertaker wouldn't have seen Kane in that gear, or Kane's relevance. To Undertaker
You know they
wouldn't
don't
have
give
been
a
in that
fuck. They just told him,
should've-
bring your gear and then just take it.
The old gear probably don't fit.
Exactly that too.
gear. I mean, you could always it's a pay per view. Just get a gear made up or something like
Yeah.
He's
But yeah, overall, so we're going back to Survivor Series. Yeah, just out of 10 guys, let's just quickly wrap that up. So out of 10, what would you give it, Matthew?
6.
A 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Wow, fair
I'll
enough.
say 6 thereabouts.
Average. All right, cool. What about you, Brides?
Go for 7.
7 out of 10. Okay, cool. Mr. Rhymes?
yeah, I'll give it a 7.
A 7. Okay, I will give it probably a 6. I'm going to give it a 6.
Oh, so collectively
Yeah.
6.5. we average it out for all of us.
Let's
to
to balance
6.5.
it, yeah.
Wow,
So
so-
basically, overall, yeah, 6. I think they could have. I was very disappointed with the Undertaker's farewell because the way they were building it up, I thought it was something magical was gonna happen.
What would you have wanted from it though?
I think he was gonna possibly like another run-in or like a surprise return of someone, and someone takes out the Undertaker or something. Maybe not lead up to a match, but just something to literally
someone else or just something, correct?
something, yeah, just to maybe someone to ride off Undertaker fully, and so there's no chance of him coming back, or maybe build up to a match or a cinematic match of some sort.
If we accepted that wasn't going to happen, just in regards to a tribute, was it a fitting tribute? Was it a great tribute? Like, or did you think it was?
Nah,
I feel like maybe
no,
it would have been better if there would have been an audience.
100%.
So if there was an audience, I
100%.
feel
He
like
deserves
I
that.
feel
Is
like
it as bad as like Triple H 25 years?
That was an absolute roasting. Jesus Christ.
I don't. What
That was on
one?
SmackDown. Remember when? And then Vince came out at the end and he started talking about Katie Vick and all this crazy
You
stuff.
didn't watch it.
And then the lights went out. And then
Was this during the time when there was no audience? Or
it was
when there
during it was during Performance Center. It happened
No,
a
but
couple.
was it with the no audience, or was it when they had the in-house
was
audience?
No audience.
No
This
audience.
was
Okay,
in
no, I didn't watch
April.
that one.
This was in April, like
Then
at
I
the
didn't.
beginning of the pandemic. Yeah.
Oh, I
So,
didn't see
so it
that.
wasn't even a fitting tribute, is what you're saying. It wasn't even like.
I mean, it was good. I mean, you got,
tearjerking or anything. It wasn't like.
It would have been a tearjerker if there would have been a crowd, because when you get the crowd members who's
Yeah.
playing, you're like, oh, you.
but when you
feel
hear
their
piped in
emotion.
crowds saying
Yeah.
"Thank you, Taker," it's just
And then also the crowd pops for the different legends and whatnot would have been quite a nice touch as well, in
exactly.
my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
Is this it? Is the Undertaker?
Yeah.
I think-
after AJ Styles, what's he gonna do? Like,
Yeah, I think
this
that
year.
was a fitting end. Obviously, ideally, in the perfect world, I wish he could have maybe one more match in front of a crowd because he has quite arguably the greatest career of a wrestler anyone could ever have. So he deserves that to have it in front of a crowd or maybe a send off in front of a crowd. But if he ain't gonna get that, then fine. Yeah, I'm fine with this. This will be it. If he does come back, then don't come back as Taker. Come back as freaking Big Evil or something. I don't know.
He's on flipping TikTok now. I'm not gonna.
That's yeah. Then yeah, there you go.
not
There you go. Then
You're
yeah.
assaulting my intelligence. If
There's someone else.
I get that. I totally
he
get
needs
that.
to come back and his name is Mark. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if he came back as Mark and became the general manager, I'd be here for it. Like, I'd
Wow.
find- do you know what I
Suit
mean?
and tie, Taker. You know.
No. He can still wear his, but it could be cool. But
Okay.
he's got a job now. Like he's not a wrestler anymore. he's making the matches. Like great funny segments, but
Oh
nah.
my god! Imagine.
Well, apparently he's going to be a coach in the Performance Center. That's what I heard.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
I
yeah.
thought he was walking away. When you watch the Broken Skulls, he was like, he's walking away. He's done.
I
That's
said in
what
that
his whole
interview. I've
thing
only
was.
seen about 10 minutes of it, but I need to see it.
Oh no! So I ended up watching the entire thing, and it's like when you watch the Broken Skulls, because it was called One More Round, so
Yeah.
he already did one, didn't he?
Yeah.
But on this Broken Skulls, they still started talking about stuff from back in the like early '90s and all that.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is stuff that they didn't talk about in the last show. So
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, this is still '90s stuff. So what were they talking about in the first one? If that makes sense, because he's like making it seem like they missed out so much on that show, and on this one they're still discussing stuff from the early '90s, and I'm like, rah, like. So now I'm kind of worried to watch the first Broken Skulls because it's like they're going to talk about stuff in the '80s and the '70s and stuff like that. I'm just like, no.
No, there was some stuff in. Wait, you haven't seen the first one?
No.
Oh, that one. It's a bit more current. Like it's almost on par with what he showed in the last ride. Like you know,
Yeah.
all the bad matches or the good ones, and but obviously a bit of nostalgia. But yeah, if I would still recommend watching that first one. It's still good enough. But yeah,
He tells you a lot of stuff in that like you'd be surprised.
I'm sure. Definitely, I'll definitely give it a view. Give it a watch for sure. But so all in all, 6 out of 10 for Survivor Series. It has been an extensive, expansive talk about this pay-per-view. This is the last one. This is the second before last, isn't it? The next one's TLC.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right,
The
right.
OTS is the 20th of December as well, so yeah, last of the year.
Cool. Well, but yeah, that is our thoughts on Survivor Series, guys.